So, welcome to module 8.2. In this we will tell you about the project 9 basic steps. Project 9 is one of the easiest of the projects. So, what is there in project 9? Let us go to the directory structure. So, we go to Nantu Tetris projects and we will see 9. Let us go and see the hello world. The hello world has a main.jack. We just open it with WordPad for just your understanding. So, this basically has our hello world program, as you see. Now, what we need to do is, now we have to go back to our good old command prompt if you are using Windows, and then in the tools directory, Nantu Tetris tools directory. So, here when you go to Nantu Tetris tools, there you actually have a Jack compiler. There is a Windows batch file and .sh is the this thing. So, we need to go to the command prompt and go to this same directory, and there we can execute the statement jack compiler .bat /project/09/hello world. So, if you just see here the hello world, hello world is just a directory. So, if we execute this statement as you see here .project/09/hello world, all the Jack files inside hello world will get compiled. So, I am just executing this command. So, all the Jack files inside these will be converted to VM. So, now you see, when you now after executing, you just see a main.jack, you just see a main.vm file. So, there was a Jack file, now you will see a VM file. Now, look at this VM file. So, your entire Jack program has now got converted into VM, right, by the compiler. You have to write this compiler later, but now we will understand. Now, we can execute this just for the of it. Now, we can go here, open up your VM emulator, which is part of your thing. This is a VM emulator, VM machine emulator. Now, what you see is you load program, that is hello world, and you can load main.vm that you have generated here, and it will say that we are using some of the inbuilt OS functions, like you are using output.print println, output.printstring, etc. Right. So, and you just run this program at full speed mode, because it will be very slow. We just run this program. So, this is the time taken for actually printing hello world on your screen. So, what you see here is the screen. I am just moving the mouse there. So, you need to wait a bit on that. Now, you see hello world is coming up slowly. Okay, this is done. We will do one more here. Let us say jack compiler .bat project 09. We will do the average program. Average. Let us compile the entire average. Let us go and see what is there inside average. Inside the average folder, yeah, it has created. The Jack file basically accepts the number of numbers we want to add. We want to find the average, and then it will take number by number and give us the average, the integer part of the average, sum by length. We have just seen this program. Now, let us see how we can execute this. Let us go back to the we have actually compiled it. Now, we will just load that program in the Jack emulator. Let us go to 09 average. Yeah, we will load the main.vm here. Yes, and that is it. So, now we can see run. This will take time, and I am just waiting here just to actually tell you that yes, this will take time and you need some amount of patience. At this point, you just see that it is waiting, it is now, it has come to the keyboard dot readint. So, this is asking you how many numbers slowly. Yeah. So, now we have to press the keyboard and say I want 2 numbers, and then keep pressing the keyboard. Note that I have pressed the keyboard symbol here and press enter there. Now, this will start working. So, if you say I want 4 numbers, then it will take 1 hour time. So, just I have asked for 2 numbers. This is slow, this is a emulation, right. Now, it is asking enter the number. Yeah. So, it is now asking for enter number and it is waiting now. Now, I say I am entering 2 and then I am entering. Now, it will ask for your second number here. Yeah. Now, let us say again I press the keyboard with my mouse and say 7, and then I press the enter key also. Now, it should print my average as 7 plus 2, 9 by 2 should be 4.5. So, 4, that it will only print the integer value. So, it should print now the average is 4. So, I suggest that you start executing this programs and understand how the VM emulator works. Yes. So, this is done. Now, let us see the next one, right. So, we will go back to the 09 project. Now, there is a square function. Now, in the square function you will actually see 3 Jack files: square game, square and main, right. So, this is a game where if you press the right arrow, the square will move right, top arrow it will move top, bottom arrow it will move down, left it will move left. So, there is a square on the screen at the topmost leftmost top corner, and you can keep moving the square to your right, left, up, down using the arrow keys. So, this is the basic thing. Now, there are more than one Jack files here, see 3 Jack files. So, what will happen is initially so, the moment I go and execute square / square, I just use this name of this directory. So, 09 has square. So, I just go and execute / square. The moment I execute that, all the Jack files inside that gets compiled. So, your main.jack became main.vm, your square.jack became square.vm, square game.jack became square game.vm. Now, when we want to execute this, now we go to this, and at that point of time we just load program. In the previous case we had only one Jack file, one VM file in both the average and the hello world, but when we go to the square we have more than one, see we have more than one VM file. So, the what the software allows the VM emulator to hold the to load the entire directory. So, when I say load program, the entire directory gets loaded. That means your main gets loaded, main.main followed by square.new, then square.draw, all the functions get loaded here. So, the entire, so this is also what we call as linking at the virtual machine stage. So, we had 3 programs, the main was calling something called square, the square was calling something called square game, or main was calling square game was in turn calling square. So, we compile all the 3 and we load all the files in the directory. So, how do we load? Again I repeat that you just click on the directory name on the directory, don't go inside the directory, we say load the directory itself. So, again all the programs actually get loaded. Now, we can start executing this and slowly this will create a square. A square is basically printed. So, I will go and say we want to move it right. So, press the right arrow once. Now, you see that it has moved a bit on the right. Now, we can still so, you have to click the mouse and keep they take quite a bit of time to do this animation on a virtual machine emulator, but this is how this whole thing keeps running. So, this is a square game. So, I will allow you to play this at a convenience, but then you can keep moving the square up down, but it will be very slow then, but you can keep doing it, right. So, what we have learnt as a part of this is how do we compile the JAK files using the JAK compiler that is already provided to you, right. So, we will be writing our own JAK compiler, but now currently we are using a JAK compiler. We have already had certain example programs, we have compiled them and to a VM file, and we are basically executing on the VM emulator. The other interesting exercise that you can also do is that now that you have created these VM files, you can basically go use your own interpreter to compile take it into an assembly file. You can use your same you can use the assembler to make it into binary. So, you can make first you can make it into an assembly file, and that assembly file you can put it on a CPU emulator and run, and you can actually use your assembler to make it into a binary file and actually run on the hack simulator. So, all these things you can do, 3 levels of testing you can keep doing for as a part of this exercise. Okay. So, this is what I basically wanted to cover in module 2. I want all of you to basically execute these things. So, compile using tools/JAK compiler. This will give you VM files. You can now test these VM files on the VM emulator. You can use your VM interpreter to get your hack mnemonic files. This you can run on your CPU emulator and see whether this is working. Now, we can use our own assembler that we have developed to get the binary file, and this you can run on the hardware simulator and see if it is working correctly. So, this entire set of things you can try and see if it is working, and that will give you already it will give you one thing. So, once in this entire stack your hardware is yours, your assembly is yours, assembler is yours, your VM interpreter is yours. The only thing that is missing is the JAK compiler, and if you do that, then you have understood how to build the entire system stack. Okay. So, this is where so kindly do these 3 programs, and we will do many more as a part of project 9, a couple of more programs as we proceed in this project. Okay. Thank you. So, we will see in the next module.